All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Gunmala Kapoor. The headlines. Parliament approves extension of President's rule in Jammu and Kashmir for another 6 months. Prime Minister Narendra Modi thanks all parties for their support. Centre constitutes a high-power committee of chief ministers to suggest time-bound implementation of agricultural reforms. In Karnataka, 2 Congress MLAs resign from the Assembly. 8 core sectors in the country record 5.1% growth in May. And in ICC Cricket World Cup, Sri Lanka beat West Indies by 23 runs and India to take on Bangladesh at Birmingham this afternoon. Parliament gave its nod to the resolution seeking extension of President's rule in Jammu and Kashmir for a further period of 6 months, with the Rajya Sabha approving it yesterday. The Jammu and Kashmir Reservation Amendment Bill 2019 was also passed by the Upper House. Both the resolution and the bill have already been passed by the Lok Sabha. The Reservation Bill proposes to give 3% reservation in educational institutions and government jobs to people living within 10 kilometers of the international border in Jammu. A total of 3.50 lakh population of 435 villages will be benefited through this amendment. Replying to a debate on the resolution and the bill in the Rajya Sabha, Home Minister Amit Shah affirmed that Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of the country and it cannot be separated. Earlier, moving the resolution and the bill, Mr. Amit Shah said that the government has no other option but to further extend President's rule in Jammu and Kashmir for 6 months, as the Election Commission wants to hold assembly elections in the state by the end of 2019.
Even today, we are not in a position to conduct elections in Jammu and Kashmir without providing security cover to the candidates. Earlier, security forces had expressed their inability before the Election Commission, saying that as the elections are being held in other parts of the country and deployment of forces is required, therefore they are not in a position to conduct elections in Jammu and Kashmir.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has thanked all parties for their support in passage of the 2 important bills pertaining to Jammu and Kashmir in Parliament. In a series of tweets, the Prime Minister said these bills were passed unanimously after debates enriched by participation of members across party lines. He said such bipartisan support is gladdening. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has urged people to wholeheartedly support the Jal Shakti Abhiyan launched yesterday. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, no stone should be left unturned in strengthening the mass movement to conserve water. The Jal Shakti Abhiyan, to create awareness on the benefits of water conservation and the declining sources of water in the country, was launched in 2 phases. The first phase is from 1st of July to 15th September and is for all participating states. And the second phase will be between 1st October to 30th November for states with a retreating monsoon. A Shiromani Akali Dal delegation led by its president Sukhbir Singh Badal met Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi yesterday. The delegation invited the Prime Minister to attend a function to mark the 550th birth anniversary of the first Sikh Guru, Sri Guru Nanak Dev, on the 12th of November at Sultanpur Lodi in Punjab. The delegation also apprised Mr. Modi about the various programs that will be held to mark the 550th anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev. In a tweet, Mr. Badal said the Prime Minister has agreed to attend the event. The Centre has constituted a high-powered committee of chief ministers of several states for transformation of Indian agriculture. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis will be the convener of the committee, while the chief ministers of Karnataka, Haryana, Arunachal Pradesh, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh have been included as members. A report.
The committee will discuss measures for transformation of agriculture and also raising farmers' income. It will suggest the modalities for adoption and time-bound implementation of agricultural sector reforms in the country. It has been asked to submit its report within 2 months. The committee has also been tasked to suggest changes in the Essential Commodity Act to attract private investments in agricultural marketing and infrastructure. Sanjeev Jasrotia, AIR News, Delhi.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. In a blow to the H.D. Kumaraswamy-led coalition government in Karnataka, two Congress MLAs, Ramesh Jarkiholi and Anand Singh, have resigned from the State Assembly. In his resignation letter to the Assembly Speaker yesterday, Mr. Jarkiholi said he has resigned as Gokak MLA for being ignored by the party and the coalition government. His resignation came within hours of Anand Singh, who represents Vijayanagar in Ballari, quitting to protest the state government's decision to sell over 3,667 acres in Ballari to JSW Steel Limited. 8 core sectors in the country have recorded a growth of 5.1% in May on the back of healthy output in steel and electricity. These sectors are coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery products, fertilizer, steel, cement and electricity. They had grown by 4.1% in May last year. According to a Commerce and Industry Ministry statement, steel output increased by 19.9%, while electricity grew by 7.2% during the month under review. The growth rate for the 8 key sectors for April 2019 has been revised upwards to 6.3% from the 2.6% reported earlier. After the revised numbers, the growth rate would be the highest in the last 10 months. In July last, these sectors grew by 7.8%. In Maharashtra, 18 people were killed in 2 incidents of wall collapse in Mumbai and Pune due to heavy rain. 12 people were killed and 76 injured after a wall collapsed on a few hutments built on a hill slope in Mumbai. The incident occurred at 2 a.m. today in Pimpri-Pada in Malad East area. Out of the 76 injured, 5 are said to be in a critical condition. In Pune, 6 persons died and 3 were injured after a wall collapsed near the Ambegaon police station. The incident occurred around midnight last night. NDRF team is carrying out rescue at the site. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has expressed pain over the incident and has announced a 5 lakh rupee compensation for the kin of the deceased. The state government has declared a public holiday in Mumbai today for safety of the citizens and the city in the wake of the very heavy rainfall forecast by IMD. A report.
Normal life remained affected due to heavy rains which lashed the city for the 5th consecutive day today. The state government has declared a public holiday in Mumbai today. Holiday has also been declared in all public and private schools and colleges in Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Thane and Konkan areas. Suburban train movement in some areas in Mumbai was also suspended after midnight for a few hours, citing safety hazards. Several long-distance trains have also been cancelled or rescheduled since yesterday. Sweetie Jain, AR News, Mumbai.
The 46th-day annual Amarnath Yatra began yesterday from both the Baltal and Pahalgam routes in Jammu and Kashmir. The Yatra will conclude on August the 15th, coinciding with Raksha Bandhan. More from our correspondent.
The batch, comprising of 4,661 men, 1,115 women, 128 sadhus, sadhvis, left Bhagwati Nagar base camp for Baltal and Pahalgam base camps around 4 a.m. this morning in a cavalcade of 242 light and heavy vehicles escorted by security forces. On the first day of Yatra, which commenced from Baltal and Pahalgam routes in Kashmir Valley yesterday, a total of 8,403 pilgrims paid obeisance at the holy cave shrine till last evening. R.K. Raina for AR News, Jammu.
Radio Kashmir Srinagar has launched a special 100-watt FM transmitter for the annual Amarnath Yatra. A special transmission from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. will keep providing information and updates to the pilgrims with regard to weather, security and other related arrangements daily till completion of the Yatra. Assam Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal flagged off the first international flight connecting Guwahati with Dhaka at Borjhar Airport in Guwahati yesterday. More from our correspondent.
Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal asserted that direct air connectivity of Assam with all the capitals of Southeast Asian countries is the goal of the state government. The International Air Connectivity Scheme is the result of Chief Minister's request to the centre to consider connecting Guwahati to the capitals of ASEAN and BBN countries through a scheme similar to the UDAN with viability gap funding whenever needed. The Assam government has committed 100 crore rupees per year for 3 years under viability gap funding. Manas Pratim Sharma, AR News, Guwahati.
The Ministries of Ayush and Electronics and Information Technology signed a Memorandum of Understanding yesterday to collaborate on the digitization of the Ayush sector. An official release said the ministry aims to digitize the entire Ayush, leading to transformation in the field of healthcare delivery at all levels, along with greater research, education, delivery of various healthcare programs, and better drug regulations. The Electronics and Information Technology Ministry has agreed to give technical support to the Ayush Ministry for planning and development of the Ayush Grid project. In Hong Kong, police have retaken the Parliament building after hundreds of protesters stormed the premises on the anniversary of the city's 1997 return to Chinese rule, destroying pictures and daubing walls with graffiti in a direct challenge to China. The police baton charged and fired tear gas at the protesters outside Parliament in the early hours of the morning, local time. The government has called for an immediate end to the violence, saying it had stopped all work on the extradition bill amendments and that the legislation would automatically lapse in July next year. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres today urged Iran to stick to its commitments under the nuclear deal and address differences through a dispute mechanism. Iran earlier said it had exceeded a limit established under the deal on its stockpile of low-enriched uranium. UN spokesman Stephanie Dujarric said that it is essential that this issue, like other issues related to implementation of the plan, be addressed through the mechanisms established in the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. In the ICC Cricket World Cup, Sri Lanka beat West Indies by 23 runs. Chasing the victory target of 339 runs set by Sri Lanka, the West Indies could make only 315 for the loss of 9 wickets in the stipulated 50 overs. Avishka Fernando, who scored 104 runs in 103 balls, was declared player of the match. For Sri Lanka, Lasith Malinga took 3 wickets for 55 runs. Today, Team India will take on Bangladesh in Birmingham. The match will start at 3 p.m. Indian time. Indian all-rounder Vijay Shankar has been ruled out of the ongoing World Cup due to a toe injury and will be replaced by batsman Mayank Agarwal, who is yet to make his ODI debut. Led by 21-time world champion Pankaj Advani and Lakshman Rawat, India fought back from the brink of defeat to beat Ireland 3-2 and give themselves a chance of defending the IBSF Snooker World Cup title in Doha. Early in the tie, both Indian QS lost their individual frames to the Irishmen. The Indian players bounced back strongly in the doubles to shift the momentum, but with some excellent safety play, Lakshman forced his opponent to create an opening for him and the Indian crafted a handy 41 break. The final will be played on Wednesday against Pakistan, who overcame Qatar 3-1 in the other semi-final. And now for an overview of today's newspapers, it's over to Subhadra Ramachandran.
Thank you, Gunmala. Most papers lead with Parliament's unanimous approval for extension of President's rule in J&K, as also the key reservation bill. Hindustan Times quotes Home Minister Amit Shah as saying in Parliament that late Atal Bihari Vajpayee's approach to Jamhuriyat, Insaniyat and Kashmiriyat will guide the centre's policies towards the state. Indian Express writes, government rolls out plan to save water, says it will be a mass movement with launch of the Sanchay Jal Behtar Kal campaign for rainwater harvesting and water conservation. 5G panel head warns Chinese vendors excluded from trials, headlines at Times of India. A senior government official has opposed Huawei from participating in the ongoing 5G trials in the country, citing security concerns about the Chinese telecom giant. Hindustan Times quotes former Finance Minister Arun Jaitley as saying that India can potentially have 2 slabs for the goods and services tax once revenue collection increases. And with that, it's back to you, Gunmala.
Thank you, Subhadra. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Parliament approves extension of President's rule in Jammu and Kashmir for another 6 months. Prime Minister Narendra Modi thanks all parties for their support. Centre constitutes a high-power committee of chief ministers to suggest time-bound implementation of agricultural reforms. In Karnataka, 2 Congress MLAs resign from the Assembly. 8 core sectors in the country record 5.1% growth in May. And in ICC Cricket World Cup, Sri Lanka beat West Indies by 23 runs. India to take on Bangladesh at Birmingham this afternoon. And with that we end the morning news. Have a nice day.